And for me, at a young age, say like high school, I was like so scared of becoming like my mom. And they don't realize how stuck they are. Through my grandmother's passing a few months ago, a lot of trauma, generational trauma, was brought up for a lot of us involved. The study of epigenetics clarifies, it proves that information is stored in our DNA. If you're maybe more POC, you heard the term generational curses more than generational trauma. How that is actually passed down. It is passed down through your DNA. How you continue to deal with that or not deal with that will impact your ancestral line for generations to come. And I feel strongly that there's a lot to do that they want to help me achieve to clear our ancestral line. Things that didn't get realized or things that didn't get achieved. And that happens by going places that no one has gone before. What I know part of my soul mission is freeing a lot of the ancestral pains, letting our ancestral line breathe. So for the people that come after me, they have the keys to success. They have something to start with. They can decide what it is they want to do out of life. And they don't have to go through, oh, I'm the only one that's doing that. How do I do that? How could I possibly think I can break the chain of those before me to do something that has never been done? And I can tell you that, yes, the business, I don't have the same business plan as when I started my business. I don't want to do the same things that I pursued when I started my business. Natasha, are you trying to be in a video? No? What is playing in the background? Then throat chakra. Clearing your throat chakra and letting yourself be expressed and heard and even seen. I could push myself to stick to this thing long enough to see it through. That is the key. That's the important part. Because a lot of us don't have that confidence. We don't believe in ourselves enough to know deeply that we can start something and not know how it's going to end, but we will see it through. Because think about it, if you're trying to collaborate with somebody that dogs themselves, that picks partners that treat them like crap, that doesn't engage in self-care, that doesn't, they're not trying to engage and challenge their mind and grow, what you produce together may not be the best quality of work. You're really going out on a journey, and you only get more comfortable doing it as you do it. No one is going to hold your hand and make you change if you don't want to change. You need to look into the mirror, and the mirror is you. What about you needs to change? What in your life needs to change? Anybody can be your soulmate. Anybody can teach you a lesson. But your soul tribe is a collection of your soulmates that are really meant to drive you forward, to move you forward in life. So instead of taking a full break off for the solutions, just slow down. And that, it's great to be wanting to do more, but make sure that's in a place of alignment with where you are and not out of necessity because you're afraid you're going to fall behind. So I wanted, out of necessity and survival mode, I wanted things to come fast. That healing process, you can usually become very clear about your vision moving forward. And then the rest just kind of takes care of itself. We are ethereal beings. And if you don't believe how ethereal you are, then what's the point? What's the point of all of this? Hey y'all, welcome back to Ethereal Naomi. Today we're talking about how my fear of repeating generational cycles made me step up my game as an entrepreneur. The first fear that I had even before I started my spiritual journey really was fear of complacency. I would look around at the family and around me in my local area and wonder why. And none of them I felt like had moved or explored different parts of the world or broken apart from the 9-to-5. And for me, at a young age, say high school, I was so scared of becoming like my mom. We have always had a strained relationship, not as strained as it is now back then when I was in high school, but enough for me to have a fear of becoming like her, not reaching for more. And I felt that she was keeping herself small. Not that she's small, but I felt I still feel like she's keeping herself small. And I didn't want to end up like that. I never wanted to be someone that felt stuck, like I feel like a lot of people are, and they don't realize how stuck they are by old ideals and traditions and their own beliefs about who they are and what they can achieve in life. And I knew that once I started my spiritual journey that I was going to be in charge of breaking a lot of generational curses in my ancestral line. For those of you who don't know, my grandmother raised me and my older sister, and there was a lot of generational trauma that came with the connection between me and my sister in regarding to my mom and my grandmother. None that I'm going to get into in this video. Through my grandmother's passing a few months ago, a lot of trauma, generational trauma, was brought up for a lot of us involved. And it's been hard having to deal with that, but necessary to get to the next level. There are certain things that we have to acknowledge in life that didn't originate with us, but we carry the burden of some of those like beliefs and things that are passed down. The study of epigenetics clarifies, it proves that information is stored in our DNA, that it's not necessarily about diseases that are passed down, but things like knowledge is stored in our DNA. And that's how generational traumas, generational curses, if you're maybe more POC, you heard the term generational curses more than generational trauma, how that is actually passed down. It is passed down through your DNA. And how you continue to cope with that. Oh, hi, kitty. My cat, Natasha, in the back. How you continue to deal with that or not deal with that will impact your ancestral line for generations to come. So not even doing anything is a choice. You can choose to do something, and you can also choose not to do something. How you respond to what was left on your lap by the generations before you will determine the legacy that you leave behind. So as well as fear of complacency, there's the fear of not achieving more. And that really propelled me, as well as my older sister, into more of an entrepreneurial mindset. We acknowledged that we were already breaking chains from generations past, but there was more that we had to reach out of life, and we had to be the first to do that within our immediate circle. We have other family members that have been doing this stuff for, oh, sorry, there's an ad playing. I had like a live screensaver wallpaper on YouTube, and I forgot that I had to not pay for YouTube. Natasha, are you playing back there? YouTube Red, so there was going to be ads for the wallpaper. I'm so sorry about that. It'll be like a nice cute ocean in a minute, but like I was saying, there's family that have already been doing entrepreneurial pursuits and, you know, real estate and things of that nature, and on different sides of our family, but none within our direct reach and grasp that we are on an everyday basis with. So me specifically, I really had to study myself. I had to learn information myself. I had to go through the motions of getting my LLC myself, everything, choosing my name, making mistakes, learning, paying for courses, paying for ebooks, anything that I could scrape together to invest in my own business, so I could provide a legacy that I'm proud of after I'm not here anymore. That's also something that's been heavily in my mind since my grandmother passed, has been legacy. And I strongly feel like she is one of my spirit guides now, regardless of the relationship we had when she was alive. I think about her every day. I carry her with me every day in some form or fashion. And she's here with me on some plane of consciousness, you know. We're still connected and she's still helping me out. And there's a lot, her and my great-grandmother, who I never met, but died 2 days before I was born, and I have a middle name, I'm just saying. So they're both spirit guides of mine, and I feel strongly that there's a lot to do that they want to help me achieve to clear our ancestral line. Things that didn't get realized or things that didn't get achieved. And that happens by going places that no one has gone before in the past. My grandmother did have a business at some point. She did have a cleaning business, I believe. And so she already had that, and I guess I inherited that from her. She, however, did work herself into the ground, and that is something that I wish to never do. I don't wish to work my hands to the bone, you know, Natasha. I don't wish to have a 9-to-5 that's going to be of mental and emotional and physical detriment to me. That is not why we're here. That's not why we're here. You can miss me with that one. What I know part of my soul mission is freeing a lot of the ancestral pains, letting our ancestral line breathe. So for the people that come after me, they have the keys to success. They have something to start with. They can decide what it is they want to do out of life. And they don't have to go through, oh, I'm the only one that's doing that. How do I do that? How could I possibly think I can break the chain of those before me to do something that has never been done? Because especially for Black people in America, a lot of this stuff is generational, because we didn't have access to all the knowledge of other people, unlike us, that they had. So we had to figure out what it is, where to get the knowledge for one, how to come across the knowledge, how that knowledge bumped against what we had already thought about what we could achieve in life. So a lot of this is like psychological, you know, so it really requires not even grit. Not even grit, just heart and desire for more, and patience, and knowing that you have your ancestors by your side, you have your spirit guides by your side, you have your higher self by your side, and all of it can get done. It's just not going to happen necessarily in the time frame that you think it will. We all have this idea of, you know, we start a business and X amount of years or whatever, X amount of months, we're going to be rolling in them ducats. I had that. I thought that I was going to, in the first few months, I was going to be hitting it big. It's been 2 years. Yeah, because it was December 1st, 2020 was when I got my LLC. So coming up here shortly is going to be 2 years anniversary from when I started my business. And I can tell you that yes, Natasha, what you doing? And I can tell you that I am not the person I was when I started the business. I don't have the same business plan as when I started my business. I don't want to do the same things that I pursued when I started my business. Natasha, are you trying to be in a video? No? What is playing in the background? This is what I get for having YouTube in the background. And now she's scratching her Scratch Post toy on the floor. Okay, so now I'm actually going to incorporate oracle reading into the video to end this off, and I have a decent amount of cards, so we're going to switch it up. This is the oracle reading. Okay, first card we have is Ascendant, and we got this for the last reading as well, and it says Entrance. And I just want to say that this reading, in conjunction with today's topic, is really giving what needed to be left behind with the ancestors, and what we could bring forth with our current line, and what we can sprout for the generations to come, for the legacy to come. And that's the overall energy for this vibe, for this reading. And the crystal that I do have two. I have blue angel ore quartz here, and then I have blue apatite. And apatite? I always say appetite for that. And I also have my little evil eye pendant from my shop, and as well as my selenite charging plate. And I chose these today because I really felt like a lot of what this message, this divine message, was about throat chakra. And that's actually been heavy on my mind lately, has been throat chakra. Clearing your throat chakra and letting yourself be expressed and heard and even seen. And a lot of us in the past, our ancestors, even our younger selves, our throat chakra was blocked. We weren't able to voice exactly what we wanted to say. We weren't able to express ourselves because of maybe like political and racial climates and there's a lot that needs to be cleared for us to move forward, for the generations to come to move forward. I think this is really talking about the tipping point of when enough is enough and we have to make a decision. Are we going to continue to do what has been done in the past, or are we going to strive for things for the road less traveled, the path less traveled, and figure out what that path is going to be for us? I just realized I probably shouldn't have lit that, but it's fine. And no, let's light this page. Oh, I'm just kind of got black on my, blacker on my fingers. But okay. And that also is talking about ego death. What no longer serves us in our new self, our new consciousness, and what is holding us back, so that we can become anew, so that we can start over, so we could move forward and progress. And that next card is vision. And I did order these top few cards because I felt like there was an order of things that, numerology wise, like the card numbers really didn't have anything to do with it. But there was a cadence to the cards that came out. And the order that I have makes sense from a outside perspective. So vision is the next card, and it says, what it's giving is, after you enter into this new phase of your life, you need to get clear about what your vision is. You need to manifest what your vision is. And early parts of manifestation, oftentimes doesn't require action. It just requires your eyes, your third eye. You're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do, why you're here, your calling, your soul mission, your soul purpose. Why did you come here? Why do you feel like you're different than others? What can you bring to the table that someone else can't? Even if you're doing very similar things that other people are doing, how can you make it special? And oftentimes our life experiences color how we see things and colors what we end up doing in life. For me, as a writer, as a young writer, I didn't have a strong voice when I was younger. I really didn't. I was a people pleaser, and I let people walk all over me. I said yes to everybody and everything under the sun, even if I didn't want to do it. And that impacted how I saw myself, my self-worth, and my self-love, and how that trickled into the creative pursuits that I was doing. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my writing. It wasn't until about 4 years ago that I actually finished a writing project. And I've been writing for 12, 13 years. And that's a long time to go to have a bunch of unfinished projects and never have anything come to completion. So 4 years ago, I finished my first writing project. It is not something that I'm currently working on, but that it gave me the confidence I needed to understand that I could finish an entire book, a novel. I could push myself to have a beginning, middle, and end. I can push myself to have character development. I can push myself to stick to this thing long enough to see it through. That is the key. That's the important part. Because a lot of us don't have that confidence. We don't believe in ourselves enough to know deeply that we can start something and not know how it's going to end, but we will see it through. It goes unnoticed a lot. It goes not even under the radar, but it's just not something that people are really challenging, I think, is their self-confidence. How can you challenge yourself today to understand that even if you don't end up liking the path that you're on, you can always pivot. You can always say, I tried this, I did that didn't quite work, but it led me to this other interest that I think is more in alignment with where I'm at and where I want to go now. But I had to try this other thing that didn't quite mesh. What's your vision? The next card is collaborate. I highly believe that this card is really talking about your soul tribe, especially because one of the other cards below from the other deck is about longing, a sense of longing, a sense of looking for home, looking for your soul tribe. When it comes to collaborating, obviously you want to do it with somebody, and not just like in like a business sense, but like, you know, love and friendships. And you want to make sure that you're entertaining people and meshing with people's energy and flowing together in a synergistic way, and because that they have like-minded views of you when it comes to self-care, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to relationships. Because think about it, if you're trying to collaborate with somebody that that dogs themselves, that picks partners that treat them like crap, that doesn't engage in self-care, that doesn't, you know, they're not trying to engage and challenge their mind and grow, what you produce together may not be the best quality of work. It may not flow together. The message might not even come across because of the opposing energies. Once you get together, you might just be like off put by their energy. You might not even know why. And I think it really boils down to, when you're collaborating with people, knowing them on a deeper level, on a soul level. How can you pour into each other? What you have may end up coming in handy to them further down the line. The knowledge that they have could become of use to you. And it really goes to show you don't have to do all this stuff together. Like, it goes to show you really don't have to do life alone. A lot of us are taught from a young age that we have to do life alone, and we don't. But that's an ideal for you to challenge on yourself. I can't challenge that for you. The next card is review, and I think that is the second to last card in this order of things that I have, and just for that deck specifically. Review, retrograde. It's what can you circle back to? What can you go over and see what did not work and what did work? And what didn't work, think about why it did not work, how you could have made it work. Something that you can tweak, people that you can tweak out of your life, people that you can tweak into your life. Tweak in. No, that was stupid. What is draining you of your energy? What is uplifting you in your energy? You need to review those people in your life, in your immediate circle, that are draining you and uplifting you, because the ones that are draining you, they have to go at some point. You need to lessen the connection that you have with them. And the ones that are uplifting you, you need to have more of those people in your life. You can't, because in the moments that you doubt yourself and your capabilities, the people that uplift you, that challenge you in the best ways possible, are going to get you back on your feet. And the last card from that deck in that order is expand. And I think we might have also done that last reading, I'm not sure. But I ended out that specific reading with that card because in that order, it really is, you're really going out on a journey, on a journey of the mind, the soul, of business, of relationships, of life. How can you expand what you know? How can you, this is a calling to put yourself out there. A lot of us are playing it too safe. Like, for example, with me doing YouTube, a lot of the time I really didn't want to put myself on camera. I didn't feel comfortable putting myself on camera. I didn't feel like it was necessary. I thought that I could just do this format and it would be fine. And granted, I do like this format, but I also like having my face on camera now that I've done it once or twice. And you only get more comfortable doing it as you do it. Like, you can't be afraid to try something and then complain about not getting the results if you never even try. So how can you expand your mind, your body, your soul? Challenge yourself. Once you get clear on these first few cards, after you review everything that you've done, how can you move forward? How can you progress? And it's not about always reaching for more, never being settled, and not even just being complacent. No, it's not about that. It's just about how can you affect more people's lives? How can you help more people see themselves just by being your own authentic self? And my clarifying cards at the bottom, the crumbling, and this is really more like the Tower card. in this oracle deck. It says, what are you clinging on to? What needs to go? Who needs to go? What ideals need to go? What things in your diet maybe need to go? What practices need to go that served you before, but now the person that you're trying to align with, they don't serve you anymore? What needs to fall away so you can get to the next level? The next card is align your life. Exactly. What is not aligned? What needs to change? And it all boils down to you. Like, no one is going to hold your hand and make you change if you don't want to change. You need to look into the mirror, and the mirror is you. What about you needs to change? What in your life needs to change? This next card, which is about, I mentioned earlier, about longing and feeling like you don't have a sense of home. Your soul tribe is out there, and it may not be the people that are closest to you right now. I've said this before, but I think there is a difference between soulmates and your soul tribe. Anybody can be your soulmate. Anybody can teach you a lesson. But your soul tribe is a collection of your soulmates that are really meant to drive you forward, to move you forward in life. And you find those people by first getting right with yourself. You got to figure out what you need to clear away. You got to understand your vision, what your vision is, why you have your vision in the first place. You got to meet people. You got to come together, like minds, like energy. They say opposites attract, and they do, but like attracts like even more. If you're trying to get somewhere, it's better to somewhere specific, somewhere where you feel successful, where you're contributing, where you're adding value to other people, to yourself, you're showing up for yourself. If you want to get to that place, it's easier to do that when there's other people around you that are doing the same. And lastly, we have take a break. And these cards want you to get off the treadmill of life. And I think for a lot of people, it's easier said than done, obviously, just to take a full break. So instead of taking a full break off for the solutions, just slow down. It's winter time. Well, not necessarily. It's still November, but it feels like winter outside. What? It feels like winter outside. Wintertime outside. So instead of taking a full break, just slow down as much as you can. Figure out a routine that works for you, that it makes sure you're putting in effort, but you're not overworking yourself, and you're pushing yourself enough to where you're not necessarily inside of your comfort zone, but you're not being hard on yourself when you don't get certain things done. And that's really hard to balance, I think, at sometimes. But, I mean, we got to balance it. What other choice do we have? We don't want to live a life, we don't want to work for all of this and then constantly feel like we're not doing enough because we have like productivity anxiety, because we feel like we need to produce more, because that's what capitalism is. We got to produce more, we got to do this, we got to do that. Always reach for the next thing, always reaching. And that, I mean, it's great to be wanting to do more, but make sure that's in a place of alignment with where you are and not out of necessity because you're afraid you're going to fall behind. So I invite you to take a break. I invite you to figure out what is next, to review, figure out what's next for you. This year is coming to an end in just a month. And then everybody under the sun is going to have these brand new goals. But how many people are actually going to get the things done that they want to get done? I can tell you from experience, where I was last year, I'm vastly different from where I was last year. I was living very, very differently. I was living extremely paycheck to paycheck, and I was usually always in the red. I didn't know how to manage my money. I didn't know how to do any of this, Well, that's not true. But I didn't have the patience with myself to take things slow. I wanted, out of necessity and survival mode, I wanted things to come fast. I wanted to have instant success. I wanted to have instant money in abundance. I didn't have the mindset to understand you need to slow down. Like, you're in a rat race, and like, for what? Like, it's taking a toll on your mental health because you think that you have to have this, that, and the third to be successful, so you can get other people's validation, so you can feel validated. But no, you need to validate yourself first. You need to figure out where you are in life, accept that you're in where you are because of you, and then figure out your game plan from there, how you're going to move forward. Moving forward usually has a lot to do with your healing journey. So maybe just start there. Figure out what you need to heal, what you need to let go of and heal. That healing process, you can usually become very clear about your vision moving forward. And then the rest just kind of takes care of itself. But you have to have faith, and you have to be able to believe in the magic of life and the magic of yourself. Like, you're a cosmic being. You're made up of stardust. That's a fact. We are literally made up of stardust. We are ethereal beings. And if you don't believe how ethereal you are, then what's the point? What's the point of all of this? Just give up now. Just give up. If you can't get to that place where you see your own magic, I don't know how you expect anybody else to see it. So just, you can start there as well. Get to that place where you find your own magic so you can radiate it out, and so that magic comes back to you. Energy attracts like energy. We never attract to us what we don't already put out. Okay, bye. and that is all she wrote for today. And I invite you all to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, share if this resonated with you at all. I would love to hear the fears that you had for your generational trauma, for your generational curses that you wanted to break before you became even conscious of your spiritual journey. And how that plays a part in your growth now and where you're headed in life and your path. Okay, bye.